This here is an instruction video on how to make hillbilly feta. You will need goat's milk, goat yogurt, and calcium chloride, rennet, and salt. Any pasteurized milk you use to make cheese will have a hard time forming a curd if you don't add calcium chloride. Why? I don't know. We are making cheese here, not a time machine. Now, calcium chloride is not easy to find, even in the metropolis where I reside. I was told you could get it at wine and beer making supply shops, and I was very excited when I found this stuff. But the disappointment was crushing when I read the label more closely. It is not calcium chloride. Much too late, I discovered this stuff. You can get it in the pickling section of most tire, battery, and pickling supply stores. Much too soon, I discovered this stuff, and you can get it anywhere. It is calcium chloride, and it works, but it is not food grade. And I use it here for experimental purposes only and do not recommend it. This is for when you're cooking up a batch of feta in your RV in the desert. If you use the blue ice melter brand, you can probably make blue feta, very popular in Albuquerque, I hear. So I mix a 1/4 teaspoon of calcium chloride in with a 1/4 cup of water and mix it in with the 4 liters of goat's milk. Please excuse the metric imperial dyslexia in this video. Heat the milk to 30 degrees Celsius. Mix in a tablespoon of goat's milk yogurt that has been pre-mixed with some goat's milk. Mix it in good. Mix it in real good. Let it incubate for an hour or so. The milk should get thicker in consistency. After an hour, mix in the rennet. The stuff I use is tablets, and I use 3/4 of a tablet dissolved in room temperature water. This brand is vegetable-based rennet, if you are not down with the mammalian stuff. If all has gone according to plan, your milk should have formed a curd. There seems to be an entire art and science around clean breaks and cutting the curd, but essentially if you stick your finger in it and it seems to be gelatinous, it is probably ready. Take a long knife and slice up the curds into cubes. Instructions will tell you to make 1-inch cubes or 1/2-inch cubes or whatever. Follow your gut instinct. Slice down at an angle to get to the bottom of your curd. Mix it up gently with a clean hand. Again, various instructions will give you various times for this mixing. I got bored after about 2 minutes, and it seemed pretty stirred to me, so I stopped. Drain your curds and whey through a cheesecloth and strainer and retain your whey. Let your curds drain in a cheesecloth overnight. Scrape your cheese into a bowl, add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and mix it up. And wonder why the instructions went on about the size of your curd cubes when you're just mixing it up anyway. There must be a good reason for it, but I do not know it. Retain your whey. Get your cheese form and align it with cheesecloth. Now the fact of the matter is you can spend a lot of money on cheese making supplies. A stainless steel cheese mold might cost you $50 or more at a cheese making supply place. The one I got is actually a utensil holder I got at a Mideast food store. In fact, I got most of my stuff for this experiment, including the rennet and the goat's milk, at a Middle East food store. Press your drained curds into the form and fold the cheesecloth over and put some sort of plastic lid on top. Then weigh it down with something. The weighing down part seems to be optional, but I wanted to give it a try. Let it compress and drain for hours and hours. Expect this whole process from start to finish to last a couple of days with all the draining and straining and so forth. After many hours, I judged the cheese to be still a little wet, so I flipped it and put it back in the mold again overnight. This is what I had the next day. It looked like feta, it tasted like feta, very fresh and unsalted, but still soft and not crumbly. The brining is what makes it salty and crumbly. To make a brine, I mixed 500 milliliters of saved brine with 5 tablespoons of salt. I think the idea is the salt will draw the moisture out of the cheese and make it crumbly over time as it cures in the fridge. I was quite satisfied with my Hillbilly Feta. It tasted great, resembled feta I had bought in the store previously, and I got about a pound or half a kilo of cheese for only $50 or so, although the next batch should cost me much, much less. So enjoy, and welcome to the world of feta making.